Greetings, fellow Wildcats. I am Damian Lewis, president of the Atlanta chapter of the National Alumni Association. From time to time, we find it necessary to come together as a school community to discuss the state of our school. It is in moments like these that we are reminded of our purpose. That is, to preserve and protect the legacy of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. While we have since all departed the hallowed grounds of our beloved university, we all have one thing in common. That is, we are alumni, and this forever binds us. Being an alumnus of our university is a great responsibility. It is more than just attending homecoming or the Florida Classic. As you all know too well, our motto is enter to learn, depart to serve. As students, it was our job to learn. Now, as alumni, it is our responsibility to serve. This is why I come before you today, to ask you, now at this very critical time, to be of service to our university. As is customary at this time of the year, many of us are making our 2020 resolutions. As you are setting your list of goals for this new year, I charge you to include in that list ways to become better alumni, ways to be of greater service to our university. As you should know by now, we've been placed on probationary status by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, most commonly referred to as SACS. Were Bethune-Cookman to lose its accreditation, this would be devastating. Losing our accreditation as a university would devalue the degrees that we offer. Losing our accreditation as a university would mean that our students would not be able to access federal financial aid programs. With these two things in mind, I am sure you can imagine the very quick, sudden, and drastic decline in our enrollment. This type of decline in enrollment would almost certainly lead to our ultimate demise. The challenge before us from SACS is to raise $25 million, and we need to do so by the end of April this year. Yes, you heard me correctly, $25 million. And yes, again, you heard me correctly, by the end of April this year. This might sound very daunting, but I'm pleased to share with you that as of today, we are only just about $6 million away from meeting that $25 million goal. Unfortunately, the actions of some former board members and employees have really injured the credibility and reputation of our university. The result of this is that many philanthropists and funders and private donors who would once give generously and willingly to our university are no longer inclined to do so. What this means is that more than ever before, we must rely on all alumni to give back, give often, and give generously. This is why the National Alumni Association has launched the Finest Hour Campaign Fund. As you should be aware, our university has a number of debts and some bonds. While we are accredited and in good standing, we do not have to repay these debts. However, were we to be unsuccessful during this probationary period, and were we to not regain full accreditation, we would no longer be in good standing. This would mean that our creditors would have mechanisms to force us to repay all outstanding bonds and debts. This would put at risk all monies and all assets owned by the university, including monies earned from the generous donation from alumni like you. Having the money in a separate fund, managed by an entity that is not the university, but instead the National Alumni Association, would safeguard the money, as it would not be subject to any creditors. The National Alumni Association, in turn, will ensure transparency and full accountability through proper and frequent reporting to all alumni. And don't worry, as alumni, you will have the opportunity to review these statements and reports thoroughly and to ask any and all questions that you might have about the fund. I am so personally invested and committed to this fund that I enrolled in making a monthly recurring donation of $50 each month. Now, I've been told that there are approximately 15,000 living alumni around the world. This is a good thing, because if each of us were to commit to making a $50 donation from now through the end of April when Sachs returns, that would generate $3 million. Over the last 25 years, we have seen approximately 15 HBCUs close their doors, 3 in the last 6 years alone. This assault on our HBCUs is by no accident. Collectively, HBCUs generate approximately $10 billion annually. HBCUs produce 80% of the country's black judges. HBCUs also produce 50% of our black doctors and 50% of our black teachers. As you can see, HBCUs are a vital part of our community, so we must protect them. Bethune-Cookman is important. In fact, all our HBCUs are important. Additionally, Bethune-Cookman is more than just a university. It is a staple of the Daytona Beach community. As a university, we hire hundreds, if not thousands, of local Daytona Beach residents. And many local businesses, like my personal favorite, Bethune Grill, rely on the students and staff of Bethune-Cookman to patronize their business. What would be the impact on the Daytona Beach economy without a Bethune-Cookman? This is why we must do all that we can to ensure the continued success of our university. So please, join me and visit our website at www.naabcu.org. Enroll in making recurring monthly donations of at least $50 a month. Once you do that, I then want you to out to every other alumni that you know, nag them, badger them into also going to the website and making donations as well. From there, I want you to reach out to coworkers, friends, neighbors, and loved ones and get them to also donate, because it is up to all of us to protect our very precious HBCUs, and Bethune-Cookman is the most precious among them. In her last will and testament, Dr. Bethune said, "I leave you finally the responsibility for our young people." The young people she refers to here are current and future students of Bethune-Cookman. I ask that as alumni, you take your responsibility seriously and that you do all that is required and even more to ensure that these students will have a university to attend and that we can continue the legacy of Bethune-Cookman for the next 160 years. On behalf of the National Alumni Association and the Atlanta chapter of the National Alumni Association, I wish you all good health, peace, and prosperity for this new year. Thank you. May God bless each and every single one of you, and may God bless our great and beloved Bethune-Cookman University.